So horse racing to Kentucky is so many things: sport, history, culture, heritage, and more. It defines us in the best ways, illuminating our past while pressing towards the future. So several years ago, historic horse racing helped solidify an industry that was losing ground in a field crowded with entertainment options. The success of HHR has restated, if not restored, Kentucky's preeminence as the horse racing capital of the world. Which brings us to the recent ruling by the Kentucky Supreme Court. As you know, a court ruling in September has thrown HHR into question, coming as it does against the backdrop of the global coronavirus pandemic and the resulting economic damage. This couldn't have happened at a worse time for the industry. I want everyone watching and listening today to know that my administration is committed to protecting HHR and to reaching a bipartisan solution in the coming legislative session. A message that we will be sending loud and clear in our efforts is HHR isn't just a boon for Kentucky's largest horse farm operations. The economic benefits of HHR are far more wide-ranging and include as major incentive for operations to relocate to Kentucky. That's my commitment, to be very clear, very strong, and I've already been very public, to make the case that our Kentucky lawmakers must, not should, but must agree in a bipartisan fashion to find a way forward for HHR and let this important industry flourish. Unfortunately, I can't do it alone. I'm going to need all of your help. What I ask of each of you is reach out to all of your contacts, state representatives, and prominent members of your community. Let them know what this means to your ability to continue to operate and compete. And let them know that your support and possibly your years of support depend on them responding appropriately and supporting getting this fixed. I can tell you they'll hear from me, but as with most issues, lawmakers are more likely to listen to you, the stakeholders, farm owners like many of you, instead of just other elected officials or lobbyists. So stay engaged, let your voices be heard as this session begins, and encourage them to stay focused.
It's so important. It is the most important issue that faces us right now. We always have constant issues going on that we deal with in the Horse Racing Commission, but it all centers around this. This is something that has to be addressed this session and has to be fixed this session. We were talking the other day with a group, and it's crazy that our KTDF purses, the purse supplements, have increased from less than $5 million in 2011 to over $19 million because of HHR. So when purses increase, more trainers come, owners elect to run, there's more business in Kentucky, larger purses lead to larger fields. So I know I'm preaching the choir on this, but it's so crucial that we educate, and Keep can help with that education. And any information you need, you can get from us. So I know you've seen these statistics, but I can't emphasize enough. I'm not going to go one by one, but you can see how important it is to the industry. So it's so important, again, while we have a plan and we as the commission are ready to move forward, it's not a permanent solution, just a temporary fix, and we need that legislative fix. So what we need you to do, okay? I think legislators are probably sick of hearing from me, quite frankly. I still got meetings set up next week. I think they're sick of hearing from Mark. They're sick of hearing from lobbyists. It's time that the industry gets together and finally flexes their muscle. If you're anything like me, listen, with Morgan & Morgan, my job, another shameless plug, I know, but with my job, I get hit up all the time, and in all 50 states, in contributing to political people. And we're very issue-driven, even though people think we only give money to Democrats. It's not true. But we are very issue-driven. And so when an issue presents itself, we then anticipate the people that we support will at least listen to us. So it's time that the industry gets together, and they go to their local senators and their local representatives and flex their muscle. It's for years you've been given and not asking. This is a time you have to ask. You can't rely on, I hear this a lot when I go out. This is not a horse industry problem per se. It's an association problem. only the associations benefit from it. That's crazy. Follow the money. The money leads to the purses. It affects the whole industry. So we need everybody to participate in talking to the legislators and finding a solution. Also, I'm sure that if you guys need talking points or need to learn specifics, HEAP, KTA, KHBPA, even us can give you specifics. And so if you need any additional information, please reach out to us. And again, we really want we need to emphasize, we want a legislative solution. Just because we can have a temporary fix potentially through the Horse Racing Commission is not the permanent answer. We need a legislative fix.
We just have to do, like it was said, just hand-to-hand combat, hand-to-hand, connection with the legislators, because quite honestly, they don't hear from the individuals enough. They call when they want, an election donation, and a lot of you have given those. And I know all of us are tired of giving money, but to some degree, you got to give money to win arguments and win battles. And we also have to, make them aware that we're serious about this, and express the economic damage that's going to be done, because this will be dramatic. I mean, we're third in purses, but I think Kentucky's really number one. When you take the cost of living here is so much less than California or New York. The trainers are not, kind of assaulted like they are in New York with regard to, the wage crisis they have up there and the various lawsuits you see. So anyway, I think, we've got a challenge. It's right in front of us. We need to work together, and, KTA, KEEP, farm managers, etc. We just kind of have to get together and start making those contacts, some person to person, some phone calls, some emails. It's amazing when you get 400 emails in somebody's email, and they have these little slips. You get enough slips in front of them, they realize that we think it's an important issue. So let's do it.
So we'll reach out to all of you after the call today to just talk about which legislators you can reach out to. As the governor said, and I'm sure you'll hear from other legislators, they want to hear from real people. They hear from me all the time, and they hear from lobbyists, but they want to know why this is important to you and how it's going to help your business. So it's not a slam dunk. It takes a lot of effort, and we're going to need the support from everyone on this call and everyone in our industry to make it happen.
We're in for a fight. This is not gonna be easy. This is some pretty tough stuff for some of our legislatures. Eastern and Western Kentucky. One of the biggest shocks for me when I joined the legislature was learning that, we are not the most loved industry in Kentucky. And I think that's very important to know where we are. You got to know what you're going into when you go into the fight. And we have to know that we are not viewed as being the most loved industry in Kentucky. So we need help. And the best way to get to them is going to be through KEEP. I see John Cox on here at the chamber, through the chamber, and one-on-one getting their constituents, the people that voted for them. That is going to be the number one way to pick them off. And it doesn't need to just be the paid lobbyists doing this. And this is where it's got to be coming through KEEP with the grassroots campaign. We need blacksmiths, grooms, barn builders, fence painters, tractor dealerships. Like, we have to get everything, all these splinter industries that come off the horse industry. We've got to get them engaged. In the past, I think the horse industry, we can be bad sometimes about just burying our hands in the sand and thinking, well, we're our signature industry and this is going to work out for us. And my caution is that this is not one of these times. This is something that we're really going to have to be engaged in. So we've got to rally.
As you all know, probably as well as anybody, we've been fighting this battle, the gambling issue in Frankfurt for, 15 years, or 16 years, I guess, as a KEEP organization. it's one that's difficult. It's one that's been divisive over the years, and it's one that we've always come up short on. That said, we've never been faced with the prospect of actually losing something that we have, and I do believe that that creates a little bit different dynamic. I think it creates a broader understanding of the importance of the issue, and a general understanding, I believe, in the legislature, the importance of this issue to the industry, and the importance of this issue to the overall health of the economy in Kentucky. That said, it's still a divisive issue, and while there may be broad understanding, it's a long way from saying there's broad acceptance or broad support for it. I do believe that there is support. I do believe that there is significant support, but it is going to be difficult. It's a difficult issue. This is no slam dunk. Not only is this a divisive issue, but this session is just it's just an incredibly difficult session. It probably never has there been a more important time that that the grassroots of this industry engage. Now faced with the prospect of losing something, I think that legislators, they want to do the right thing, and they will be responsive to their constituents. They will be more responsive to their constituents, and as good a job as John Cox does for the chamber, and as good a job as Steve Huffman does in representing your all's interest in Frankfort. Legislators need to hear from their constituents, and any way to engage the grassroots infrastructure that this organization has built over the years is vitally important. They need to hear directly from the people that it's affecting the most. And that's not just the lobbyists, that's not just the big farms, that's the feed dealers, the fence builders, everybody understands the trickle down effects of this legislation. So it's important that they hear from those folks more than maybe what the stereotypical thought of the horse industry is. It's an image issue that we've always battled, and one that has been difficult to overcome. But it's going to be pretty crucial in this instance.